going over the speed bumps. A little bit of hop. I know Kyle said if you go off and on, the thing torques. I like that. You know, I'm not sure I've ever looked good torquing though, that's for sure. Hello and welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today I'm going to be driving the ElectraMeccanica SOLO. I'm very interested in this vehicle ever since Kyle reviewed this, I think last year sometime. But here we are in the sunny, beautiful San Diego at the fully charged 2-day electric vehicle symposium event. Beautiful time here yesterday. This is Sunday morning, and I'm going to take one of these little puppies out for a ride. So let's get into it. And again, welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave. So here it is, the ElectraMeccanica SOLO. Let's go over some of the statistics about this vehicle. It's 122 inches long. It's 61.4 inches wide. It has cargo space of a whopping 5 cubic feet. Top speed, believe it or not, of 80 miles an hour. It's got a 17.3 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is actually liquid cooled. It's a lithium ion battery pack. Top speed I mentioned was 80 miles an hour. EPA, I guess, I don't know if it's EPA rated range, but range says up to about 100 miles. So depending on how fast you drive it or what have you, you know, listen, if you think about it, probably 80% of some people's drives, they're all by themselves in a car. Do they need to have a passenger? The reason this car is called the SOLO is because it's a single passenger car. It's got a little bit of room in the back for your briefcase or some groceries or what have you. And the use case of this car, I think, is very clear. The company has made it clear that it's used to commute. Maybe some small delivery fleets could actually use this car. And then maybe some shared mobility in terms of basically using this car as a shared device to get around town. So these cars are from a company that has been around for a long time. ElectraMeccanica has been building specialty cars out of Vancouver, Canada for many years, actually over 60 years. And a lot of their cars are very highly sought after and specialty vehicles. And the ElectraMeccanica is now a division of ElectraMeccanica. And they broke off, I believe, started in 2015. They've been building these cars in China, but they are about to, I believe, open their factory in Mesa, Arizona, 235,000 square feet, and they're going to be building these right here in the United States. So this is kind of an interesting vehicle, interesting use case. Today I'm going to drive it. I did want to go over some of the specs though before I drive it. It has, believe it or not, remote keyless entry. It's got tilt wheel. It's got air conditioning. It's got heating. It has a single windshield wiper. You can get in the car from one side and get out the car the other. So, you know, depending on what you want. It's available in 4 colors: electric red, raven black, arctic white, and iridium silver. And you can see that this car apparently had the AC on, so there is, like I mentioned, air conditioning and heating as well. I'm 6'5", so I can't wait to see how I fit in this thing. There with the roof, looks like I'm going to have plenty of room in there. Should fit quite snugly. 53 horsepower. This thing's not light. This is around 1,700 pounds. I believe that it is classified technically as a motorcycle. I'm not sure what that means in terms of federal tax credits. So the factory, the capacity of the factory in Mesa, Arizona is said to be able to build up to, I think, 10,000 units a year, scalable up to 20,000 units a year. And I think that this is something that's going to be real interesting to see how the demand is. Now, from a safety standpoint, I do not believe there are airbags, but there are front and rear crumple zones, and then they have this sort of like stainless steel or steel roll cage in there that you can kind of see over here. You know, I mean, I guess that's going to help. I'm sure it would help in a rollover in terms of any kind of you know, with a high strength rollover bar there. It's got actually torque limited steering, stability control, I mean to say. I don't believe it has ABS, and I don't believe it has regen braking, but listen, I'm gonna get in this thing in a little while. I'm gonna give it a whirl, and it's got, you know, it's got a Bluetooth connected stereo. It has a heated seat and power windows and mirrors and heated exterior mirrors. So in inclement weather, unlike the Arcimoto, which is pretty much open unless you can, I guess, you know, if you buy the side doors for it. Now, I have driven the Arcimoto down in Key West, Florida before, and I'm interested to see how this drives compared to the Arcimoto, but this should be a good one today, folks. Here we are in the Solo. So I know that I've got my foot on the brake. I've got it in, do I have it in drive? I think it's all the way over to the right. It must be in drive. I wonder if it's got auto hold. Probably not. Let me turn on the AC here because, oh yeah, here we go. AC, it's got heating, it's got cooling, and boy, it's a little spicy out here today. Yeah, hey, no, go ahead.
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm just, yeah, that's, oh, no worries.
Okay, take off, enjoy your ride.
All right, thank you. So here we go. And one thing I immediately noticed is that the rear end popped up as I started off, which is pretty cool. I remember years ago, I had a Yamaha snowmobile. It was a 4-stroke snowmobile, and it sat real high, but all the snowmobiles that I have, when you gave it the acceleration, it would crouch down. This kind of did the opposite thing. So now the AC is cranking. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit, only because maybe the sound. So a couple things I want to try and figure out here is, because I have driven the Arcimoto in the past, and that was fun, but it was not an enclosed vehicle. This feels much more substantial to me. This feels like someone, you know, took a like, make 0.5 of a car and just multiply. Wow, yeah, back end kicked up again. I like that. I think that's cool. We're going to put on our turn signal, accelerate. Here we go. It's actually not bad. It's going all right. Not underpowered, folks. Without a doubt, not underpowered. Now, so what I was saying was, when I drove the Arcimoto, it felt a little squirrely, and this so far, now I've only been driving, I'm doing 40 miles an hour now, and this feels substantial. This feels like a real car, like something you would get in every day and drive to work in. Now, interesting here, we went over a manhole cover, and the thing about a three-wheeled vehicle, it's just physics, right? Normally with a two-wheeled vehicle, you see a bump, you put the center of the car maybe right over the bump so you don't hit the bump. But with a three-wheeled vehicle, what happens is, let's test the turning radius here. Pretty darn good, I must say. Yeah, spun around good. So anyway, what I was saying was, if you see a manhole cover and you want to go either the wheel on the left or the wheel on the right, you're fine. But if you straddle any kind of a bump or a pothole with the two wheels in the front, you're going to hit it with the rear wheel in the rear. That's just fundamentally what's going to happen. And let me roll up the window here at speed. So, being passed by a Prius, can't let that happen. Come on, I remember when Kyle reviewed this, Jordan smoked the Prius. I got the Prius passing me. Well, there's not much I can do about it. But this thing actually rides down the road, feels, you know, it kind of floats a little bit, and not bad. I would drive this every day. I really would. I would drive this on the highway. Top speed, they say, is 80, so you can definitely take it on the highway. Now, the Arcimoto that I drove, that was software limited because it was a rental down in Key West at 30 miles an hour. And I will tell you that at 30 miles an hour, that felt, I don't know if sketchy is the right word, but it felt a little less stable for sure than this. And I just took this up to about 50 or 45 on the highway. All right, when you take your foot off the brake, it creeps forward like a regular car. Very smooth. It's not rough at all. And the AC is cranking out nice. Although, oh, I hear the compressor. Oh, the compressor's quite loud. Stereo system looks good. Parking brake over here. We've got power mirrors. We've got a little trunk in the back. We've got a heated seat. Notice I said heated seat, not heated seats. And this thing, you know, this is a real vehicle. This is fun. I like this. The other thing is inclement weather. You know, if you drive this thing in the winter, now it is rear wheel drive. It's belt driven, so you know, I don't know how that would do in the snow, but at least in the cold weather, you're in an enclosed cabin with heat, with a heated seat, with a windshield wiper, so you could drive this year round. You know, even in, this is not just a fair weather vehicle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Oh, a nice Ioniq 5 over there. And here we go. Now I'm still at a 95% state of charge. Very minimal, to be fair. Any electric vehicle in a 95% state of charge is going to feel very minimal regen. But I didn't feel any regen right there. Yeah, so I like the Solo. What a great name for a product. You know, this company that actually started over 60 years ago, and I think it was in Turin, Italy. They've been building cars for many, many years, and specialty vehicles, as I mentioned earlier. So they have experience building cars, and I think this example of what I'm doing here today, it shows. This is a relatively mature company, currently being made out of China, and they were supposed to open up their factory in the summer of 2022, and here we are in September of 2022, and I believe they're probably maybe 6 months behind. So is it going to be a December? Is it going to be a first quarter 2023 event? You know, probably it's not. Yeah, that's kind of the time frame that I'm hearing. It's not going to be happening sooner than that. So, but look, you know, you've got a Vancouver-based company from Canada who's going to be building these units in the United States in Mesa, Arizona, and so I'm going over the speed bumps. A little bit of hop. I know Kyle said if you go off and on, the thing torques. I like that. You know, I'm not sure I've ever looked good twerking, though, that's for sure. Well, listen, folks, this comes to the end of our ride here, and I just want to thank you for watching what I would say arguably is a great way for me to start off my Sunday, driving the ElectraMeccanica SOLO. I have a smile on my face. It's practical. It'll get you to work. I believe the charging, it doesn't, this is one thing I meant to say, is I don't believe this has DC fast charging. I think it's got a J1772 port. I'm going to go back and look at that because I want to make sure that I'm correct there. But look, if you daily drive this thing and it's got an 80 mile range, let's just say, even though they say it's 100 miles, let's say you drive 30 miles one way to work, this works. You plug it in. I think it's got I can't remember how fast it will charge, but it's not like a super slow charging system. It's relatively fast. Look, you know, as we conclude this ride here in the ElectraMeccanica SOLO, I just want to say thank you to the ElectraMeccanica team. Super nice people, really dedicated to the product. They are passionate about it. They're having a lot of fun doing it. And I would say that this is a great way to start a Sunday. I'm happy. So thank you for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care now.